Good day! I hope everyone is doing well. The topic we'd be learning about today is understanding the self and others. The objective of this lecture is for each of you to recognize your personal strengths and situate yourself as a member of the community and the society. I am Camille Ugarte, a BA Psychology graduate and the 2019 course sponsor. I'll be your lecturer for today. The self pertains to an individual's being, you as a whole. Ikaw. College is a time to explore your likes and dislikes, a time for you to find your identity and join organizations. There will be times that you'd question yourself, for example, before or after an exam. In the midst of an existential crisis, we would ask ourselves, who am I? In this activity, I want you to take time and think of adjectives that would describe you. Example, I would describe myself as funny, amazing, and creative. I'll give you 5 seconds to think of yours, starting now. I hope that there are more positive than negative adjectives there. Okay lang if may negative adjectives. It means that you are aware of them and can strive to change. The words that you describe yourself with are called self-concepts. It is what you believe and know about yourself. Self-concept has two elements. One is self-schema and the other is possible self. Self-schema are mental templates which help you define yourself. It not only affects how we perceive ourselves but also how we perceive others. The standards that we set ourselves with will be the standards we put on others. If you identify yourself as an athlete, then most likely you'll describe yourself as one. Your self-concept may be sporty, adventurous, active, athletic. You are who you believe to be. So try and think more positively about yourself. Visualize your goals while you try to achieve them. It will help you along the way. Our self-schema helps us organize and guide relevant information. This is because we welcome relevant information related to our self-schema. The self-reference effect states that you'll remember information quicker if it's connected to you. An example would be birthdays. If your friend's birthday is closer to yours, you'll be more likely to remember it. If you're an athlete, you'll tend to favor sports-related activities and remember sports-related facts more. Speaking of goals, the possible self is the future you, of the person you might become. It can both be negative and positive. The you dread or dream to be. Our actions affect who we become in the future. It cannot be a positive possible self if you don't try. If you do not strive for something, how can you achieve it? For example, if you did not register in UP, how can you become a UP student? How can you graduate if you did not finish your curriculum? If you don't apply in COCC training, how can you become a cadet officer and have all their benefits? So the next one is evaluating ourselves. When we evaluate ourselves, we tend to have a few misconceptions, misunderstandings about self-understanding. We'll discuss the spotlight effect and the illusion of transparency here. Spotlight effect is the belief that others are paying more attention to your appearance than they really are. So no, nobody noticed the pimple on your forehead when you were in high school. Nobody thought that you were weird for wearing a face mask and a face shield when you went outside during the pandemic. These thoughts result from egocentrism. We are self-conscious about characteristics or behaviors that might be ridiculed by the people around us. That's why we tend to focus on those things. We want to see how others would evaluate us. We use our experiences to explain the world around us, and this is only natural. Illusion of transparency is an illusion that our concealed emotions are leaked out and read by others. An example is when we feel sad. We might want attention and think that our emotions are being displayed. From another person's point of view, we might look the same. You do your routine normally. Deep inside, you're hoping that someone would notice and ask you what was wrong. Tip: Huwag maging pabebe. If you want something, ask. If you want to express your thoughts, do so appropriately. With that being said, be kind to others. Hindi natin alam ang pinagdadaanan ng ibang tao. Moving on to how we can evaluate ourselves. The Johari window is a systematic approach to understand the self. Here, the window is divided into quadrants. The goal is to lessen the hidden areas and to be more open. The hidden areas are the blind spot, the facade, and the unknown. The four labels are self-explanatory: known to self, not known to self, known to others, and not known to others. The arena is part of the quadrant which houses the habits that everyone knows about you, including yourself. Back to the example of being an athlete. The person might have been volunteered to join their high school's intramurals. Their peers volunteer the person because they know that the person is athletic. The person might have joined the varsity team during their high school and college days. They know that they are athletic, that's why they joined sports-related activities and organizations. Blind spots are habits and behaviors that you do not know but are known to others. An example is Season 3, Episode 18 on How I Met Your Mother. In this episode, they pointed out each of their flaws. Barney doesn't listen and spaces out.
I'm sorry, what?
Robin says the word literally too much.
Literally want to rip your head.
Marshall sings what he does all the time. Lily eats too loudly. And Ted always corrects people.
Technically,
Each of
water
the
is
traits
drink.
are not known by the person doing it. However, their friends have noticed it. The facade is the side of you that you do not want others to see nor let them know. You might like K-pop, however you hide it because you might be ridiculed by your peers. Another example is your emotion. A person might hide their feelings or their peers are not aware of what the person is going through. Into the unknown. This houses your unknown abilities, illnesses, and repressed feelings. Abilities may not be assessed because you're afraid to try something new or have not tried it yet. Illnesses might be left unchecked due to financial problems or being asymptomatic. Feelings become repressed, maybe due to trauma. It is important to note that opportunities, resources, and their accessibility affects what lies in the unknown. It would be better to take these opportunities if you can. As stated before, the goal is to lessen the hidden areas and to be more open. By continuing to question, being aware, and being open-minded about the self, we can keep improving ourselves and how we interact with others. By being aware, we might just think of ways to provide opportunities to those hindered by poverty and lack of resources. We compare ourselves with other people. We use them as a basis on how to behave and what to do. Often, it builds up insecurities about your looks or your achievements. That is why building confidence and self-esteem is necessary. Try to be the best you possible, because as your chosen identity, you might become another person's standard. Humans are social beings. We rely on our social environment. We move in our environment by first defining what is expected of us. Social role is our role in our context. Examples are your role as a Filipino, student, and cadet. As a Filipino, you are expected to love your country and to wash your hands. As a student, you are expected to study. As a cadet, you are expected to listen and learn in this lecture. For social identity, our sense of self will rely on the group of people we associate with. For example, being a part of the Philippines, we adhere to the motto, Maka-Diyos, Makatao, Makakalikasan, at Makabansa. In the UP community, we focus on honor and excellence. In the Corps of Cadets, they believe in the shibboleth of duty well performed, honor untarnished, and country above self. In whichever group you identify with, you share their beliefs and values. So it is important to choose organizations and peers that you can defend and want to be a part of. How is social role, social identity, and social self connected? Here is a simple equation with me as an example. My social role during my stay in the Corps before I became a sponsor was as a cadet of the UP ROTC HQ unit. I identified myself with that unit. My social self revolved around my expectation of what a cadet does, as well as what the organization believes in. I adhered to the rules set for cadets when in the DMST premises. As initiative was highly expected, I volunteered to repack relief goods and be a part of the first aid stake during Raati. As we talk about our roles in society, let us elaborate on the word kapwa. In Psikolohiyang Pilipino, our culture and context as a Filipino plays a big part on how we develop ourselves. It focuses on the Filipino karanasan, kaisipan, and orientasyon. Our experiences, thoughts, and orientation in the context of the Philippines. We can look at the concept of kapwa. Kapwa does not translate to others in English. Kapwa is the combination of self and others, our shared identity. It is important to know that we are all interconnected. Knowing ourselves helps us organize our thinking and social behavior. By understanding how we define ourselves and how our environment affects us, we can better understand other people. We each have a role in society, be it a student, a Filipino, or as a cadet. I want you to reflect on your social roles and join groups that further your beliefs and values. Most importantly, you need to form a social self that would benefit the community. As members of the UP community, we owe it to the people whose taxes we use to be a standard of honor and excellence with a heart. Thank you for joining me in this lecture, and I hope you've learned a lot about yourselves. Please remember that you are an important part of our society, and each of us has a role to play. Stay safe and keep washing your hands. Bye!